Hey, what's up guys? It's Luke, Black Sheep 217 on Pokemon the Trading Card Game online and at Zoom Battle Gym on Facebook. You can also find me on Twitter at Poke Everything. I'd love to connect with you online, so let's do that. Today we have a little card talk, and one thing that I think a lot of people are playing right now, and it's for obvious reasons, they're very powerful in Pokemon. They play V Pokemon or GX Pokemon because these Pokemon are insanely powerful, right? They have like well over 100 hit points. VMAX Pokemon can get up to over 300 hit points. These are tough Pokemon to take down, especially if you're using single prize Pokemon. And you're like, what's a single prize Pokemon? Well, a single prize Pokemon is your normal, regular old Pokemon. Not a V, not a GX, just, one of these guys. This is a regular Pokemon. And back in the day, they only had this type of Pokemon. So if you knock this Pokemon out, you got one prize for it. You have your 6 prizes in the game. Well, when they have GX Pokemon, you get 2 cards if you defeat a GX. If you defeat a tag team Pokemon card, you get 3 prizes. And it's the same thing with the V Pokemon. With the V Pokemon, you defeat a V Pokemon, you get 2 prizes. And if you defeat a V Max Pokemon, you get 3 prizes. That's why these are called your single prizers. And it's pretty difficult nowadays to just make what they call a single prize deck, which is a deck full of these, regular, Pokemon. And when you think about it, when I think about it, like, do I want to use Cinderace? Or do I want to use Cinderace V? Because Cinderace V is a basic Pokemon, has amazing attacks, and I don't need to evolve it. Great. Cinderace, however, is a Stage 2 Pokemon, and I have to evolve into Cinderace throughout the game. It takes a while, right? So the speed advantage is way less. So why would anyone ever play regular cards? Well, not that many people do, really. Theme decks, they have these regular cards. But in standard format, you don't really see your basic Pokemon come out. A lot of people, on forums and message boards and things like that I've seen, they're like, I wish we had just single prize games. I'm not quite like that. I played when they had single prize games, and Theme Deck's kind of like a single prize format. But to me, it's slow. It's very slow to knock out 6 Pokemon, and the game moves really slowly. And I don't know, I just like the excitement of the big guys, the big guns coming out. But you might see Swablu. Let me actually put Swablu up here. You might actually see this guy, Swablu, in standard format. And you're like, why? Why would I see Swablu? Because Swablu has a peck attack that does 20 damage. And you might be like, so what? Swablu attacks for 20. How much HP does it have? 50. 50 HP for Swablu. This guy's just gonna be flicked away. Flicked away by any V Pokemon. Another basic you might see, and we'll talk about why, is Rowlet. If you see either of these 2 Pokemon on your opponent's bench, you have to be a little wary. You can't just be like, oh, they got a Rowlet that has 50 HP or a Swablu that has 50 HP. These are weak Pokemon. Why would you be afraid of these? Plenty of reason. So you're staring at them. You have your, let's say, your Centiskorch V Max totally powered up. You're ready to go on your bench. You've got Heatran, who's like scary looking. Let's say you have Charizard and Reshiram Charizard. They're looking scary on your bench. And all they got are these guys. You could lose the game. Now why? Well, if it's Rowlet can evolve into this guy. And this, let me see if I can focus it a little bit better. this is Decidueye, and I talk about Decidueye a lot in my breaks. Decidueye is a Pokemon that you have to be very, very careful of if you play against Decidueye. Because Decidueye, let me read this to you. It says, Deep Forest Camo. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V or GX. So if you have Decidueye out, or if your opponent has Decidueye out, their V and GX Pokemon do nothing to it. They just cannot damage Decidueye. And the same thing with Swablu. Swablu evolves into Altaria. And Altaria has the exact same text, just a different name. It's called the Miraculous Charm. So these guys are immune to damage from Pokemon V and GX. And if all you have are Pokemon that are V and GX, or even if you don't, like if you have like a Jirachi or a Fion or something like that, I mean those guys aren't going to take these guys out. You're going to lose the game because you can't do a lick of damage against these guys. And what often happens is you get down to it and all they have are like 2 Decidueyes out or 2 Altarias out, and they're hitting you for their damage. Like Altaria does 60 damage, Decidueye's better. He can do 90 damage, and he can also do 20 damage to 2 of the Pokemon on your bench. So although they're not like hitting for hundreds of damage, they are slowly whittling you down to death. So it's really important that you have a contingency plan if your opponent plays with Altaria or Decidueye, because you could look like an idiot just sitting there with all your powerful Pokemon and they can't do a darn thing because their Pokemon are completely immune to that. Now there's a couple ways around it. One is, I think Galarian Weezing has an ability which takes away all the other abilities. But that might just be for... I think that's for all Pokemon. That would take it away for this, and then this immunity would be gone. I think he can do that. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. And the other solution is carry a few Pokemon that are not V and GX that can actually do a little bit of damage. So, for instance, in my Centiskorch deck, I have a Centiskorch V deck, I play 4 Volcanions. And Volcanion can basically one-shot Decidueye with enough energy. So that's not a problem. And then same thing with Altaria. Altaria goes down to Volcanion with one shot. So that's my exit strategy against these guys if I see them with Centiskorch. If it's like a Zacian V deck, that's a little bit harder. I have to like think, what am I gonna do? Almost everything in my original builds of Zacian have like all V Pokemon. Now, recently you can put like the Berserkers in there, but I think these guys could actually take out the Berserker. So, not the best. You could rely on Berserker, but I actually put in a Lugia. Basic Lugia in there, the one that is colorless, can do 120 damage. That's a pretty good card. That might be good protection against stuff like this, and maybe a decent battler in the deck as well. So I don't mind putting Lugia in the deck because I think it's a good card against stuff like this and decent card overall. I'm trying to think. Oh, Eternatus. Eternatus is gonna have a hard time, I think, with these because Eternatus doesn't have a whole lot that can deal stuff like damage to these guys. I would say like a Hoopa can do some damage. If you're a person who runs like a lot of what kind of thing? What is that? Oh, poison. Poison. You might be able to poison these guys to death with like Toxicroak and stuff like that. That could possibly work, but it's not an easy workaround. So just be very, very careful when you play stuff like this against stuff like this because you have to have a plan. And well, I think even before you play stuff like this, I think you should be thinking about these types of decks and how you're going to defeat a deck if they have Altaria or Decidueye in there. Now, decks that are focused on Decidueye and Altaria. The thing is, a lot of times they don't have a lot of huge damagers. They don't have guys that can just damage you, because they're trying to get these guys out if they can. So that's something you can sort of exploit and hopefully get you a win. So let me know, are you interested in playing Decidueye or Altaria in your decks? Because I think putting them in your decks is very interesting. If you can make it work, it can probably win you a good amount of games. I know every time I see these two, I'm like, my brain starts going off and I'm like, okay, what in my deck can I do that can nullify and stop those cards? And then my whole game plan shifts. Like if it's ADPZ, I'm not trying to power up Zacian or ADP anymore. I'm trying to find my Lugia because I need that card to combat these guys. Same thing with Centiskorch. I'm not trying to power up Charizard or Centiskorch. I'm trying to get Volcanion out, get Volcanion powered up to take these guys out first. So you really got to think, you got a game plan. I think they're fantastic cards. I think they're really cool because they add a huge wrinkle into the game. And I've played a number of these decks, and they can be very successful. Well, thanks for watching this card talk. I'll talk to you next time.